Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Design You podcast with your host, Laura Lou. I'm excited to be here live on Instagram. I'm also excited to just be here to talk about the science behind human design, one of my favorite topics. But before we get there, let's talk about how it is where the summer solstice is now, and we are halfway through the year. So, how is it going? How are you doing? I am doing great. I feel like for myself, the universe was testing me. Definitely gave me a huge test where someone decided to bash my car window in. And at first, when I saw it, I was like, what the, wanted to scream at the top of my lungs, but instead I got in my car. Well, actually, I was in my car. I didn't even know the window was bashed in because it was like a small window. So I'm in my car and I'm like, why does the window feel open? And then I look behind me and there's glass all over the place. I was about to teach my hot Pilates class and I was just like livid. But I was also like, okay, like what is the universe saying to me right now? All I kept thinking about was like, I've been doing everything right. I've been like really good. I've been just really focused on my craft. I've been doing all these things. Why is this happening? But that is when the universe is there to be like, how are you really doing? Right. So I composed myself and I went to work and unfortunately I took it out on my students. No, I didn't. I made the workout so hard. I moved my body. We sweat a lot. And then I was in relief and I just laughed it off. And I'm like, whatever, I'm going to call my insurance company. I'm going to deal with this and I'm just going to go on with my day. Life happens. The question is, how are you going to react to it? So, a good question. It is halfway through 2024. How are you doing? How is it going in your life? Are you at where you want to be? These are really good questions to ask yourself. Um, if you're not where you are, where you want to be, you still have time. You still have 6 more months. So take this time to really get clear on what it is you want, especially with this full moon in Capricorn and this strawberry moon. This is a good time to get clear on where you want to see yourself in the next 6 months. I don't know if you guys know, but I signed with a publisher in the spring of 2023, I believe it was. I did it with my partner, Christy from Cosmic Design Podcast, and we were building this book, gathering authors. If this is something you're interested in, go on to my Design You Instagram, go to the link tree. You can look at the website and see what we want as authors, and maybe you're aligned with this. You want to share your story. We are looking for a couple more authors. So go and take a look at it. But we are so close. And I just realized that I have to write my chapter. Actually, it's written. There's stuff written. I just have to put it together and it's due July 1st. So I'm really going to take this weekend to focus on my craft and focus on getting that done. Because last time I really looked, I mean, I've been writing for a long time and I have like a couple chapters, but last time I really looked at it was like last year. So I'm like, what is it that I actually want to put in this book? So I'm going to get that together. Lots of inner work, lots of boundaries happening this weekend for me. So that's what's going on in my life. All right, let's get to it. So today I really want to talk about what human design is, the history of it, and the science behind it. Now, as you know, I am woo as fuck, and excuse my language. I swear a lot. I try not to, but it happens. I am woo. But I also believe in the science. Like I believe in why these things are a thing. Like let's have proof. Like let's talk about that. So I love human design for this reason because yes, I'm a woo person, but I'm also a realist. So I want to know how this came to be the way it came to be. And I love just science. So we're going to talk more about the science behind it, the DNA, how it all comes to create these body graphs and to create us as humans. So buckle up. All right. So first of all, let's talk about, and I'm sure if you listen to Cosmic Design Podcast, You've probably went to the history of human design. Me and Christy, I talked about it with Christy. But as you know, is we have, excuse me, I'm getting my notes out. Sometimes I'm all together and sometimes I'm not. All right, so as most of you know, that the human design was created by Robert Allen Krakauer, who also later on changed his name to Ra Uru Hu. So you probably know him as Ra Uru Hu. The system purports to provide insight the human nature and behavior. And the way that Ra Uru Hu found out about this is that he was in Ibiza and he had this pivotal moment. He was looking up. Hey, Leo, can you not? Excuse my cat. He wants to be a part of everything. But he was in Ibiza. He was looking up. He found a star. He saw a star. Wild. Okay, I'm gonna have to like restart all of this because my Roomba just turned on by itself. That has never happened ever. So that's wild. Okay, I love that it's cleaning. I've never actually like scheduled that. That was weird. Okay, let's restart this. Ra-Uru Hu. Guys, this is like insane. I don't know what is going on. I don't know. Is Mercury in retrograde right now? I don't think so, but like things are going on with electronics. There's a ghost in my apartment. Okay, restart. Ra-Uru Hu was in Ibiza and he was looking up and he saw a star and he watched the star explode. And during that time, he had this voice. And that always scares people. Like, what does that voice mean? The voice is like your subconscious. It's a voice that is telling you, oh my God, there's something to this. What is that? So that's kind of like the voice that he had. He knew that there was more to us as humans and he wanted to dive deeper in it. So he got down onto his research. He brought out all the principles of human design and he really revolved it around this idea that human beings are interconnected with the universe. So in human design, we have 4 philosophies, them being the I Ching, the astrology, Western astrology, and then the Kabbalah, and then the Hindu Brahmin of the chakra system. And then mixed with that is the quantum physics and a little bit of biomechanics. So we're going to get deeper into that science of it. So he really gathered all this information of the I Ching, the Kabbalah, the chakra system, and the zodiac system. So when you look at your chart, you know you have to give your birthday, your time, like you would do in an astrology chart. Now, some people are like skeptical of that. They're like, well, like, you know, of course, this is why I want to talk about this because yes, they're skeptics. And not everyone is going to believe this, which is actually why I like to bring this to my community and to the world, because I know I have a lot of realistic friends that don't really believe in anything I do. But I love to talk about this because it's like, I want you to kind of wrap your head around that. Like, we all are like a star. We all came here, we were a particle, and then we became these human beings. And we are here in this life to evolve. So either you're going to continue to repeat and stay stagnant, or you're going to evolve and grow. And so, which is why I love the human design system, because it helps us grow to be the people that we're meant to be. So we got the founding principles of the human design revolve around the idea that human beings are interconnected with the universe. Human design asserts that one's birth data, including the time, date, and place of birth, are pivotal in determining one's unique design or life path. So Ra-Uru Hu encountered what he described as a mystical experience in 1987, which was seeing that star explode. He spent years developing the system, blending traditional mystical teachings with concepts from quantum physics and the neutrinos. So let's talk about the quantum physics and neutrinos. What is that, right?
One of the unique aspects of human design is the incorporation of quantum physics, particularly the role of neutrinos. Neutrinos are a subatomic particle that travels nearly the speed of light and passes through everything, including our bodies. Human design posits that neutrinos carry information and imprints us with specific data at the time of our birth. This information forms the basis of our body graph and consequently, or is that I always mess this up. So this information forms a basis of our body graph and our unique design. So the science behind this idea remains around gosh, I am just killing it today. So the science behind this idea remains speculative, and a critique argue that no empirical evidence supports the claim that neutrinos can carry personal information. So that's where the skeptics come in. But we all have this form of DNA. We all have a different DNA and we all have different energy. So I love that he kind of like blended all this together because there is something to this. Like if you look at everyone's body graph chart, you see that everyone has maybe the same profile, but they're very different. You can have different skill sets. You can have different ways of thinking, and you can have different gifts. So I think I believe that the human design system is a little bit more scientifically based. I mean, it is. I mean, compared to astrology, like, you get a lot of people who don't really believe in the astrology system, but I do believe human design can be attracting more of those realists, which is why I'm here to share it. So let's talk about the genetic aspects in human design. Human design delves in the metaphysical and claims connections to genetics. This section explores the supposed genetic aspect of human design and the basis of these claims. So genetic coding and the 64 gates. So Richard Rudd, who was one of Ra's students, really studied the human design system, but then he started to go deeper into this and came up with the gene keys. The gene keys are the 64 gates. That is the genetic coding. So the 64 gates correspond to the 64 hexagrams of the Chinese I Ching. Interestingly, this number also aligns with the 64 codons in human DNA responsible for encoding amino acids. Some proponents of the human design argue that this is more than mere coincidence and that the 64 gates represent a direct mapping of human genetic coding. The connections between the 64 gates and the 64 codons have fueled discussions and theories about the potential scientific basis of human design. So once you start to get into like the human design system, then you're going to want to know more. Then that's when you kind of get the book, the Gene Key book, because the Gene Key kind of talks more about the conscious, the unconscious, and and how it all kind of works with the growth of this all. How do we evolve with knowing all of this? And so it really kind of dives deeper into the DNA of the human design system of the Chinese I Ching. The centers and the genetic traits. These 9 centers are part of the chakra system and correspond to different aspects of human life, such as the mind, emotions, communications, relationships, and survival. Some proponents of human design claim that these centers can be linked to genetic traits or tendencies. For example, a defined throat center may indicate a genetic predisposition towards effective communication, while undefined emotional centers might suggest a more adaptable emotional response. I'm a big fan of the centers. I mean, the centers represent the chakra system. And the centers really kind of, when you start to kind of get into this system and the practice, you kind of really start to resonate with your open centers, your defined centers, like how that affects you in your everyday life. So that's a little bit about the genetic traits in the centers. Next, we have the human design type and the genetic predisposition. The human design categorizes individuals four main types, and we've talked about this before. We got the manifestors, generators, including the manifesting generators, projectors, and reflectors. These types are believed to reflect a person's energetic configuration and their role in life. This is their energetic blueprint. Some argue that these types might have genetic roots reflecting the predisposition and certain behaviors or characteristics. However, this connection between human design types and genetics is still theoretical and has not been sustained by rigorous scientific research. And just an FYI, everyone, I do get my resources from many books and resources. This resource that I'm really reading from is the A Human Design. You can go on ahumansdesign.com and you can get all the details here. You can reread this. This one just kind of is really straightforward. It's basically explaining everything that I've read in other books. Leo, my cat is just like really wants to be a part of the show. Some argue that these types might have genetic roots reflecting the predisposition of certain behaviors or characteristics. However, this connection between human design types and genetics is still theoretical and has not been sustained by rigorous scientific research. So the controversy between human design and the skepticism, can't even say that word, is that people have attracted both interest in this and they've also been skeptic. And now I'm going to be honest, I can be pretty skeptical. I'm I know I'm a spiritual person, but I can be skeptical. And that is just because you want to try to control your thoughts, right? Again, like human design always says, never listen to your thoughts. Your thoughts are just playing mind games on you. The more I study this, the more I believe that trust the process and let go of that control, which is why I do what I do. Critics argue that the connection between human design and genetics are speculative and lack empirical evidence, while the numerical correlation between the I Ching, hexagrams, and DNA codons is intriguing. No scientific basis exists to substantiate. I can't read today. Substantiate a direct mapping of influence. The link between human design centers, types, and genetics remain theoretical. So everyone's always going to have their, beliefs. But the more that I have dived into my human design, the more I related to it. The more it made sense of how my energy was projected out and penetrated out, and when I was out of alignment, how it repelled. So I believe in the system. And I want you guys all to really have an open mind about it. The final thoughts of the genetic connections in human design are fascinating and blend traditional wisdom with modern scientific concepts. However, it's essential to approach these connections with critical thinking and an understanding that they remain theoretical. Despite the lack of scientific validation, many find value in the human design system as a tool for self-understanding and personal growth. Its integration of various ancient wisdoms, traditions, and modern concepts offer a unique perspective of the human design nature. We all play a role in this life, right? But the one thing I want you guys to remember is when you're looking at your astrology or you're looking at your human design, that we all have a different dichotomy. We all have our lives that have made us who we are. So even though I know another 6'2" splenic projector, me and her are very different. Actually, I know many 6'2" splenic projectors, and we're all very different people because our dichotomy is different. The way that we play a role in this life is very different. And our energy is different. So we don't have the same skills. We don't have the same, open center. So just because you are the same as someone else doesn't make you guys exactly the same. You're all different. You're all unique in your own way. All right, now let's get into the physics of human design. Human design connections to physics, particularly quantum physics, set it apart from other personalities and self-awareness systems. This section delves into the physics of human design, exploring how it draws from modern scientific concepts and what it means for those who follow the system. So we got the neutrinos and the quantum mechanics. As previously mentioned earlier, that neutrinos play a significant role in the human design. These subatomic particles are essential in the quantum mechanics and are believed to carry information in human design. The idea that neutrinos imprint us with specific information at birth is unique to human design and has been a subject of debate. While neutrinos are well-established concepts in physics, their roles in determining human characteristics remain a theoretical construct within the system. Wave-particle duality and human design. So the wave-particle duality is a fundamental concept in quantum mechanics describing how particles like electrons can exhibit characteristics of both waves and particles. Human design integrates this concept suggesting that humans are also exhibit waves-like behavior. So this idea connects to the concept of profile in human design, where individuals have both primary and secondary attributes, akin to a dual nature of quantum particles. The human design body graph energy centers and the channels are said to resonate with the quantum field, the fundamental field of energy that permeates the universe. So the center and channels are believed to represent different frequencies or vibrations with the quantum field, connecting individuals to universal energy patterns. So this connection is thought to influence a person's behavior, preference, and life path. And I actually love this part of the science of the quantum field. Oh my God, my foot's asleep. Woo. Lately, my foot has been falling asleep to the point where it's like, I can barely even move the toes. Oh, okay, it's coming back. All right. Wild. Okay, so I kind of want to go into like a little bit of my experience of how kind of like human design kind of came into my life. When it talks about the quantum field connecting the universal energy, so it talks about vibrations. There's vibrations that come into your body. As a splenic projector, and I've talked about this before, the way that I feel something happening is through vibrations in my body. And that's usually a flight or fight response. That's usually something saying, no, no, no. Okay, I still haven't figured this out. I don't know if it was a no, 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 or a yes, yes, yes. Like, but it's an urge. I know that like when I'm ready for a change, I'm gonna do it. But I also am a hardcore planner that, yeah, it's in my head. I don't instantly just do it. I don't just get up and move across the country. I plan ahead, but I know it's happening. So I'm like a hard planner. It's my type A in me. Some people have that instant response and they're just gonna go. They're just gonna pack their shit up and they're gonna go and move across the country. If they have that capability and they want to take that risk, amazing. But for me, I like know what's happening. I'm going to plan successfully. So those vibrations, so everything happens for a reason for each person. My experiences happen the way they're supposed to happen for me to grow so I was in alignment this whole entire time of my life. Everything needed to happen the way it was supposed to happen for me to get where I am today, for me to share this information with you. And I appreciate every moment of my life. So I really kind of love how it kind of explains the quantum fields of the energy centers and how things kind of work for each person. The challenges of integration here. So integrating quantum physics into a system like human design is an ambitious endeavor. It has attracted both intrigue and criticism. Quantum physics is a complex and often counterintuitive field, and its application to human behavior and personality is far from straightforward. This integration of quantum concepts into human design is largely metaphorical, drawing parallels between quantum phenomena and human nature. While these ideas may provide intriguing insights, they remain theoretical within the context of human design. So to end this, the physics of human design, particularly its connection to quantum mechanics, offer an innovative perspective on human nature. However, it's essential to recognize that these connections are metaphorical and theoretical. So they're not completely validated. There will continue to always be skeptics. And despite the lack of scientific substantiation, gosh, sometimes I just can't read. Human design's integration of physics provides a unique lens through which to explore oneself. It invites reflection and self-awareness, and it helps connect each individual to a broader concept of the universe and human existence. So I think a lot of people who are really into this are ready to evolve. They're ready to like, how can they become better? Now, we're all pretty equal, right? But we're all at our different phases in life. So you're not, I hate that term. I'm so woke. Like I hate, oh, excuse me. I hate that because I think everyone's experience is different and everyone has these realizations at a different time. I mean, it took me 33 years to get where I am in human form, internally. So, I mean, and I think that my life has been great, and I think that all my experiences that I've had have been great. It just took me 33 years to really do that inner work. 32 years. It really hit in 32. So if you are curious to know more about the science behind this, again, you can look this up. You can just Google science behind human design. It can give you more information. I mean, it's a very intriguing system. Clearly, I'm obsessed. I could talk about this all day. That is it for today. If you guys have any questions for me, you can always DM me. You can always have like kind of challenging conversations about this. Maybe you disagree with everything I say. I would love to banter, talk about this. If anyone has any more resources they have and they want to share with me, I'm always looking for more resources about this. Know that you're on the right path at this right moment in time and that everything happens for a reason and you're here to trust the process. All right. Love and light, y'all. Happy Friday and happy summer solstice. Enjoy the rest of your day.